Hoi. Muranga Technical hoi. Bas tutamalizia na hiyo fire. Wacha kwanza nishukuru viongozi wote ambao wamefika hapa, wanafunzi na wazazi ambao wamefika siku ya leo. And let me start by appreciating the good work that has gone to making this institution what it is today. And in particular, I want to thank the hard work of the principal and management of this school, the chair and the board, which is chaired by my brother, Professor Kagwanja, a friend of mine for many years. And I think the parents and the students, you've done a good job in 4 years, moving from 0 to 2,000 students. And I am happy that today, out of that 2,000 students, 481 are graduating. Congratulations, we wish you all the best. And we are looking forward to your contribution to the development of our country. Let me appreciate the teaching staff and the non-teaching staff and all stakeholders. And let me say the government takes education seriously. The government of Kenya considers education as one of the pillars of our national development and transformation. That is why we are spending nearly 30% of all the resources of Kenya to fund education. Almost 30% of all the money that we collect in this country is funding education. For a long time, we've been doing 650 billion every year. This year, we are releasing to the Ministry of Education for funding of all schools from primary level to university, a record 702 billion Kenya shillings. That is money for paying teachers, running schools, running tertiary institutions, and also running universities. And that is not a small investment. And therefore, if there is anyone who had a doubt on where the government places education, look at the budget for education. It is the biggest single budget compared to all the ministries that are there in our country. Out of the 22 ministries, education alone takes 30% of all the money that we generate in Kenya. We, as government, in the last 3 years have made some positive strides in strengthening our education system. In 2022, during campaigns, it was clear that many people did not understand, and many people in Kenya were not happy with the way we were implementing the competence-based curriculum, CBC. In many places we went, the people of Kenya were asking us to abolish CBC in all the 47 counties. And that is why immediately President Ruto got into office, he formed the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms. Through the report of that Presidential Working Party, I am proud to report we have been able to stabilize the curriculum of the new education system that was introduced some 6, 7, 8 years ago. And we have said that it is not just CBC, it is not just a curriculum. It is a whole system for educating a pupil, a student. And therefore, we have now renamed CBC to CBE. We have now transitioned that system from just a curriculum, from competence-based curriculum to competence-based education and training. In the process, we have also seen the transition from primary school to junior secondary school, and in January 2026, next year, 5 months from now, we are going to have the transition now from junior secondary school to senior school. We have said for the senior school, the last 3 years of high school, the students will concentrate on areas that respond to their talents and their interests in terms of their careers. And therefore, students will not be burdened with studying all the subjects as it was in the old education system. In the senior school, the last 3 years, they will spend studying subjects that relate to the pathway they have chosen for their career. We have 3 pathways. One of them is STEM, which is for students who want to specialize in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The second pathway is for those who want to study the social sciences, and the third one is for those who want to study for sports, arts, and the creative related disciplines, so that they spend the last 3 years of high school before they go to college on subjects that relate to them. I know there have been a bit of debate about mathematics, and what we have said is that in high school, the student will still study mathematics, but not mathematics in its pure form. Mathematics in its pure form will only be studied by those students in senior school who are in STEM schools and those who have chosen STEM pathway. For the others, they will study applied mathematics, which is simple mathematics just to assist you in your lives. But as I said the other day, someone who is doing sports and arts as a pathway, no need for that student to study pure mathematics in senior school, but they can study simple mathematics to assist them just with their simple daily activities. So we are reforming the curriculum. But we are also increasing the infrastructure for schools, colleges, universities. In the last 3 years, the government of Kenya has built 23,000 classrooms in junior and senior schools, basically in secondary schools and primary schools as well, out of which 7,000 have been built through the national government CDF, and the other 16,000 have been built through the Ministry of Education. We are now in the process of building 1,600 laboratories to schools that do not have laboratories, especially those that will be in preparing students for STEM subjects. This is a huge investment in infrastructure. This administration, for the last 3 years, has employed the largest amount of teachers ever employed by any administration since independence. Before 2022, every year we used to employ between 4,000 and 5,000 teachers a year. We realized many schools don't have enough teachers, and it is affecting the quality of our education system, because a good education system must be accessible, must be affordable, must be relevant, and must be of high quality. And the teacher is the guarantor of all those variables. And so in the last 3 years, by close of this year, December, we'll have employed 100,000 teachers, almost 30% of all the teachers employed in Kenya since independence. Since 1963 to 2022, the number of teachers employed by the national government, by the government of Kenya, was slightly over 300,000 teachers. For 60 years, 300,000 teachers. In 3 years, 100,000 teachers. A third of the teachers of Kenya by December will have been employed by this government of President William Ruto. And therefore, we mean business. When we talk about transforming our education system, we mean business. We have also attended to TVET, and I know that is where most of you here are interested in. But I spend time speaking about the other areas of our education because I know we have parents here and even new graduates, your brothers and sisters who are in primary school, junior school, secondary school. But for TVET, we have also been deliberate. In 2022 September, when President Ruto was sworn in office, we realized that there are more students in universities than in TVETs. While policymakers, education policymakers tell us that you should have more students in the TVETs and tertiary institutions than those that are in universities. We had only 297,000 students in all the TVETs in Kenya, and we have almost 1 million students in the universities. So we undertook certain policy and administrative changes to ensure we increase the enrollment of the students in TVET. I am happy to report today, 3 years later, today, 3 years later, to the month, we have raised the number of TVET students from 297,000 to 700,000. We target that number to reach 1 million by the end of this year and to reach 2 million in the next 1 year. Again, we have democratized the curriculum in the TVETs so that today we want both full-time students in TVETs, but you can also have other people who are already in industry